Hi, Morley here. Today we're going to look at how to set up a project on the Klocwork server and run your first integration build analysis. Then we'll look at incremental analysis and how you can add key commands to your build scripts to automate the process. This video is aimed at build engineers or Klocwork administrators. A quick note about prerequisites. To build the steps in this video, you should know how to build your software. As far as Klocwork Insight prerequisites go, you require the project admin role. In addition, the Klocwork server package must be installed and your servers must be running. We call the analysis of your regular software build an integration build analysis. An integration build analysis provides a view of the overall health of your code base, populates reports with detected issues and metrics in Klocwork Review, and gives developers a project to connect their local projects to. Here we have a sample batch file containing the commands to capture build settings, run the analysis, and load the results. I'm using Windows, but everything I'm going to show you here today uses the same commands for Linux, Solaris, or OS X. You don't want to create a project every time you analyze, otherwise you wouldn't get trending reports. This simple script serves as a handy reference, so that you don't have to look up commands each time you need to set up and analyze a project. Let's run through the process of creating a project on the Klocwork server and running your first integration build analysis. Think of a project as a container for your analysis results and configuration settings. In Klocwork Review, click Create Project and fill in the information. I like to include a description because this information is included in searches in Klocwork Review. Tags are a great way to organize your projects, allowing you to sort by specified criteria. I'll indicate the language and platform. The next step is capturing your build settings. Run kwinject with your build command. kwinject watches your build system, tracking every process and logging your compilers and how they're configured, tracking modules that are compiled, archives, and links. The output is the build specification, which has the .out extension. The build specification instructs Klocwork Insight compilers how to compile your code. Think of a build specification as a makefile. Let's take a look at the build specification to make sure that compiler options have been processed. You can see that it contains a version line, a config line, compile lines, and link lines. If you see only the version line, or you notice that the config line is missing, it's possible that your compiler is not supported. Contact customer support and they can configure Insight to support your compiler. Here's the link for more troubleshooting information. Next, we run KW build project specifying the URL to the project on the Klocwork server, where to store the tables directory, and which build specification to use. The tables directory contains the intermediate results of the source code analysis. Results aren't finalized until they're loaded into the Klocwork server. Next, we load our results with kwadmin load. This step copies source files and include files to the project's root in a zip archive. The project's root stores data for the Klocwork servers and applications. It's always a good idea to check your build log for errors. We do that in Klocwork Review. You can also find the build log and the parse errors log in the tables directory. The build log looks good. Before we move on, I want to provide you with tips on how you can build on one machine, but keep all your projects on the Klocwork server installed on a different machine. In this example, the build tools, kwinject, kwbuild project, and kwadmin are installed on a Linux machine, which is where we run the analysis. But the project is created and accessed from the Klocwork server on a Windows machine. We create the project on the Klocwork server on Windows, run the build tools on the Linux machine, and then load results on Windows where users can access reports and metrics. Okay, here we have a sample batch file with commands that could be incorporated into your own build script, so that incremental analysis runs with each nightly build for this project. kwinject update updates the build specification with any changes, such as source file additions or changes to the build settings. kwbuild project incremental is much quicker because only changed files, as well as their dependencies, are analyzed. The last step is loading your results, which is the same as the previous batch file. From time to time, you may need to run a full build analysis. A full build analysis should be performed whenever you do a full rebuild of your source files. You need to recreate your build specification for a full build analysis. Then, run kwbuild project force to override incremental analysis. Well, that's it. Feel free to download the sample files discussed in this video using the links below. Be sure to check out our other videos and the documentation at developer.klocwork.com. Thanks for watching.